My friends, welcome back to the show. I do see a relief rally happening. That is what's happening. And I know I'm ultimately bearish. Unfortunately, as I told you, the macro situation is horrible. Everything is down. Tariffs here, tariffs there, war here, war there. Trump is in the office, he says something. So ultimately, I'm bearish, but I do think that this is the time when we can see a relief rally. If the relief rally is coming, it is coming now, and I'm going to tell you on this show what is really happening, where the relief rally is going to go, in my opinion, how we can take advantage with some scalp trades that I'm taking, and we're going to talk about CPI. We're going to talk a bunch of cool news that came out between yesterday and today. And if that sounds good, well, then you're in the right place. If you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe, and I bring you the best of the best of the best and most important alpha from the past 24 hours. For the next 24 hours, I give you cool trades and much more. So if that sounds good, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, like this show. Let me know in the chat. I'm going to jump back here in a second. Let's get going. So number one, we had CPI coming in. We had CPI coming in yesterday. Unchanged. That was the whole show about yesterday. So if you have been here on the show yesterday, you know exactly that I was basically saying that there is not going to be a change. There is not going to be a cut. But I was expecting a little bit better dot plot. That was I told you yesterday, that I hope that we're going to have at least a little bit on the coming in on the 3.75. I was saying that we're basically going to look for the dot plot. And yesterday I tweeted when this thing came out, and I said that the dot plot is basically unchanged. So if you look at the 2025 projections, it is basically the exact same. That it was a little bit different, but it's basically the same that what we've seen in December. And if you have missed yesterday's show, this is basically showing the projection of each Fed member on what they think inflation is going to be by the end of 2025, by the end of 2026, 2027, and long term. And because we don't really have an adjustment here, which we had in December, between 3.75 and 4, that means we don't necessarily get a lot of rate cuts this year. Now, the market is pricing in 2 rate cuts. And so the difference here, as you've seen, there's actually major difference to the distribution, what we've seen in December. Because back in December, we've seen 10 officials voting 2 cuts. Now we only have 9. But we have 4 officials seeing 1 cut. So more officials saying that there is only 1 cut this year than back in December. And then 3 officials, so 3 cuts, which is basically reduced to 2. And we have 4 officials seeing no cuts. That is the problem, because here in December, we had 1 official seeing no cuts. That increased to 4. And then instead of having 3 seeing 1 cut, that increased to 4 as well. So more and more probability that there is going to be either 1 rate cut or no rate cut. So there is a possibility that I don't think it's going to be no rate cuts, and I'm going to give you my opinion on this in a second. But there is, based on the numbers, a probability that we're actually not going to have a rate cut this year, or we're going to get 1 rate cut, which would be beyond the expectation of 2. Now, as you see, everybody was talking about QT ending and QE, quantitative tightening ending, and quantitative easing starting by May. There is a 100% chance on Polymarket I showed you yesterday that quantitative tightening will stop by May. If you look at it, there is a 80% chance that there is not going to be a cut in May. And if there is no cut in May, I don't even know what's the next meeting. Let me just look here in a second. June. June is the next meeting. Okay, there's probably not a cut in June as well. Let me see, what's the probability here? Oh, there is a probability, 60% probability currently for a cut in June. Okay, so it has to happen in between May and June if there is a cut. If not, we're going much, much lower. But ultimately, here is what I think. So what I think is that it doesn't matter. I think the Fed is lying, to be very honest with you. I do think that Trump is actually the one leading and dealing the cards here. I do think that the Fed is going to be pressured into, which I'm going to show you in a second what Trump is saying. The Fed is going to be pressured into at least 1, but rather 2 cuts this year. And I do think that the economy will roll over and everything will get better at some point. I told you that they have this debt that they have to refinance, which means that Trump purposely doing what he's doing to the stock market. And I mean, the point is not to wreck the stock market, but this is the result, and he's accepting the result because he knows that everything will come back to life and everything will be fixed by due time. And that might take, 6 months, 8 months, whatever that might be. So there was multiple revisions. We probably have seen this already. 2025 GDP growth projection from 2.1 to 1.7, meaning shrinking economy. The Fed sees higher inflation and weaker economy. Basically, that's what the TLDR there was. Now, one thing that I just want to point out, and a lot of people said, yeah, they're stopping quantitative tightening and whatever, and it's slowing down. It's cool. It's great. This is what JP said. This is by the way, why you should also follow me on X. There's a link in the description, and I share with you all this stuff as they happen. So it's quite cool. Just listen to this.
In terms of the balance sheet, so yeah, I think, I guess the way I'd say it is, you know, it was the flows in and out of the TGA that got us thinking about it. But as we thought about it, we really came to the view that this was a good time to make the move that we made. And broadly, committee that came around to the view that we would do the same thing we'd already done, which is once I guess in June.
This rambling back and forth.
June, whenever it was, half. Then the runway is probably going to do that again. We're going to cut it roughly in half. And the sense of that is, if you're cutting the pace of QT roughly in half, then the runway is probably doubled. Okay, so it's
this is the important part.
Slower for longer.
Slower for longer. So I tweeted this and I said, for all my crypto bros calling for a bull will start once QE starts, here's a little snippet from today's FOMC. And it says, in June, we lowered the pace of QT and we're going to do the same again. We're going to cut it roughly in half. It's going to be slower for longer. The TLDR is quantitative tightening will continue longer than it was. Yes, it's going to cut in half and it's going to slow down, but it is going to be longer. And JP was emphasizing the fact that he will not start quantitative. He's not interested in starting quantitative easing before rates get back to zero. And rates are not going to get back to zero for a long, long time. Two things here. One, I don't believe he is saying the truth. I think quantitative easing is going to start earlier than the rates back at zero. Trump will force this no matter what, in my opinion. But this is just an indication on the fact that they are going to prolong this. It's not going to be like, you know, buy in May and stay around, which a lot of people emphasize and say like, oh my God, they are stopping QT. It is time to load up here. It's not necessarily. Now we are on the right track, as 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 says here. We're on the right track, but this isn't up-only season yet. We'll take multiple FOMC meetings, exactly what I said, to process slowing quantitative tightening, stop quantitative tightening, maybe start quantitative easing, and QE starts is particularly difficult because they have to get inflation under control, they have to get the rates down, and then they can look at quantitative easing, which we believe is going to be the next catalyst for the major rally. Now, I said that I'm going to talk about Trump. Trump said. And Trump is a man with a plan. Okay, he's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. And he said the Fed would much better off cutting rates as US tariffs start to transition, ease their way into the economy. Do the right thing. April 2nd is Liberation Day in America. So April 2nd, obviously, a bunch of more tariffs coming in, reciprocal tariffs specifically. And he's pressuring JP on every aspect to start cutting. And this is one of the main reasons, and you can think I'm an idiot, but this is one of the main reasons why I do think it doesn't really matter what JP says. I mean, of course it does matter, but in the long run, I'm pretty confident that he's going to cut rates. Oh, can't hear. Will saying that you couldn't hear the what is it? The sound. Okay. Anyway, sorry about this. Because he's still not here. He's recovering from his penis enlarging surgery. So I do think rates are gonna come. Rate cuts are going to come. Quantitative easing is going to come, but it's not going to happen overnight. Now, one more thing about Trump. He's speaking at this digital asset summit. Now, I'll tell you the truth. I didn't know that there was a digital asset summit until I saw that he's speaking on it. There is a confirmation now that there was speculation from Eleanor here, whether he's speaking or it's live or it's going to be pre-recorded or whatever. And it is going to be indeed, he is indeed going to address the crowd at this conference today. And it is going to be a recording. Now, I'll tell you one more thing on this. Everybody's going like, oh my God, Trump is going to announce the tax cut. Bruv. Like what? Anybody's telling you that? I mean, you should know better by now. It's not going to happen. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna put my life to it, but it's not going to happen. It's gonna be an extreme nothing burger. Even if he wants to go over and beyond, he's going to say something obnoxious. It is not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. So I do think it's going to be a nothing burger, and I hope it's not going to be as big of a nothing burger as people expect it to be, because I do think that that the whole narrative of Trump speaking is always hyped up like crazy, and it always disappoints. But if you go on to Blockworks' site and see the Digital Asset Summit, you will scroll down here on the bottom. The Irishman sent this in, by the way, into the newsroom. He sent it in here because I asked him where it is, and he was like, here it is. Romania. Here's the Irishman. Here's the Irishman. So I think he's watching. He said he's gonna watch the show, but I don't believe him. I think he's not watching the show. So we'll just see if he comments something here. I don't think he's watching the show. Anyway, so you scroll down here and you will see that there is a featured speaker, President Donald J. Trump, virtual. Can I click on this? I can. What does it say? It says the same thing. So it's happening, and then after 2 hours later, Michael Saylor is going to speak. What is interesting is that this is going to be a virtual pre-record on this conference. That means they're going to play a video that he recorded probably in 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 7 minutes. He's going to say the same thing. Don't sell your Bitcoin. The US is not going to. We're going to make America the crypto capital of the planet. And you don't sell your Bitcoin. My Bitcoin friends, great people. And that, so and that's kind of my boy. Charm on there was happening. So anyway, don't have high hopes. Whoever says what, I see these going around and please no capital gain tax. Please no capital. No, I guarantee you it's not going to be. If it is, I don't know. I will stream naked tomorrow. But it's not. It's not going to be like that. Now, based on all this, there is a bunch of talk, and I don't want you to misunderstand the title and the thumbnail and whatever of the show. There is a possibility of a rally now, and I will tell you exactly why. But I don't think this is the bottom. Now, ultimately, no one knows where the bottom is going to be. So technically, this could be a bottom as well. But I'm just not confident until a daily high. I told you about this. So although a lot of people will tell you crypto sentiment is an all-time low, this is the moment you've been waiting for, this is the moment where winners are created, yeah, but we might drop another 50%. So I told you that I'm going on based on confirmations. And I tweeted this in more about, 2-3 weeks ago, and I said, 100%, 1,000% sure that we're going to make insane gains. We need Trump to clean shop, rates and inflation to come down, QE to start. Everything will bounce, crypto will bounce the hardest. This is not what I wanted to post here, but what I wanted to say is just hold your cash. And I told you to wait for the right moment. I had a tweet. To wait for the right moment. And I do think that the cash that you are holding, about 20% of that is worth deploying today. I'll tell you why. One, because you don't necessarily want to time the bottom, especially not on stuff like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum. Ethereum, you probably timed the bottom already for the past 3 months, but you can't really time the bottom, and you shouldn't even focus on timing the bottom. So deploying into major protocols that are definitely here to stay and have real proper value, I do think it makes sense to take 20% of your cash and just start deploying already. For the rest, I would wait for a daily high. Let me look at the market here. Let me actually just look a second for the chat, because I see again we have 700 people and only 170 likes. You know what time it is? It's like time. If we can get to 100, what is it? 350 likes, we can continue the show. Until then, I'm just looking at each other, and I have to leave very soon. I'm traveling today, so I would like you to do that. Oh, I see all the hearts are flying. I think it may be my kiddo pushing that. I told my kid I'm gonna do some craziness on the show, so I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do. Okay. Check out $1 Billion Hustle. Yes, they can cut out between meetings. Empty supply increasing. They will not cut in between meetings. M2 money supply increasing. Yeah, the same story. Liquidity will come. Yes. Bitcoin, no. This guy, Clifton, you come in every single day, you ask for a giveaway. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying, like, you do it every day. We go down to the 48. Never. We're not going down there. Beam chart is literally M on weekly. Uncle JP gives me as long Cos doing. Cos doing good. He's doing good. He's gonna recover. He's gonna recover soon. Sell in May, then buy away. Yes. Need the bit funded. No. My boy, buy in May, get burned. No, we'll see. I think it's gonna be a buy in May kind of event, probably. Amazing show, Fefe. Thank you so much. Stop everything. Buy JK. Who doesn't love more bottoms? Bitfund did give away, no. Ondo looks like it's going to rip. Ondo's, I agree. Bitfund, please, no. Smash that thumbs up. Good morning, GMGM. Hit the like, GMGM. More longs than shorts now. I closed my shorts. I'm only short BMT. The ISO coins all go H-bar. Yes. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Oh, we still only 245 likes. Okay, that's a shame. We're just gonna wait. I'm just gonna read more of the comments. We still need to get to 200. I'm gonna like it on my end. So I do my part. I'm just gonna wait. Read. I'm gonna like the show. Here we go. Hold on a second. So I like the show, so we can get going. Whenever you guys ready. We can just read the comments. Any trades today? I've got a bunch of charts prepped. So we're gonna look at the charts now. GM, Pels, what's good? I'm gonna be on Paris blockchain, by the way. I thought you were on Paris. I'm gonna be on Paris blockchain. Oh, it's top chat, live chat. Okay, here we go. 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙, thank you. Fed said expect slow in market GDP. Yes, I already clicked it twice. I clicked it 3 times, right? Okay, we're at 300. Thank you. Okay, let's go. We're at 300. Good. Didn't even take a lot of time, so we're good. Okay, so let's go. Here's what I'm looking at. So one is you have to start on a higher time frame picture, okay? Ultimately, this is called the breaker block. Incredible lever for us to start reversing. It's just perfect. We always came back to a breaker block. Always. It happened here, came back, reversed. Every single time here, broke above, came back, reversed. So every time we came back for the breaker block, which is like the previous high mark, came back fantastic. So ultimately, weekly, daily, we could reverse, okay? What needs to happen for us to reverse, for us to confirm the reversal? It's very simple. We need to see a higher high on the daily. Why? Because if you see the market do this, it doesn't matter what happens on the internal level. It doesn't matter. It can be anything until you see a proper daily high break. There are a lot of times when you see these dumps, people call them resistances, but what they are supply zones. There's a bunch of people, institutions, whatever, that either need to protect that level or they just want to sell at those levels. They have a lot of limit orders and they just, prepared to sell at those levels. And then there are a lot of traders who know that because they do analysis and whatever, and they sell, pre-run them or just sell with them. And then there's always distribution happening from these levels. So if there is a time, there's always a time, but when there is a time that everything, so when there is a time that one of these levels get taken over, meaning we create a higher high, that means that everybody wanted to sell there is not interested in selling anymore. And that becomes an equilibrium in the market where you go, okay, so people who thought it was pretty expensive here don't think it's expensive. And people who bought down here are much more powerful than the people who are selling. So this becomes your range after a recovery. So you're probably going to see a range retest and then you see a continuation. And when you have that, you confirm that there is a confirmed breakout happening that you can actually go and long. Now, how does that look on the chart? Unfortunately, the daily high is technically the daily high is up here at 3.12 trillion on total market cap, but I think I would take a 3 trillion reclaim because it's a strong level that caused another close below right into the breaker block. It's good. Like this level at 3 trillion is great. So for me to start deploying some of the cash that I'm holding, again, you can deploy 20%, but start deploying a decent amount of cash that I'm holding, I need to see a break above on the daily chart, break and close above on the daily chart up here. But why do I think a relief is coming? Because every time when you look at different time frames, for you to see this on the daily chart, you will need to see this on the hourly chart. On the 4-hour chart, right? Because just this is basically the daily, and that within that there is the 4-hour chart. I hope it makes sense to everybody. If not, I'm just going to make a video on that. But technically, this is how it looks. So the first thing, before you see a high break on the daily, you will see a high break on the 4-hour chart and the hour chart. And so this is exactly what happened here. So let me just remove these because I'm going to leave it here and it's just going to be annoying. So this is exactly what happened here. I told you that if we break above the 2.72 trillion mark on the total, I do think that it is going to be a reversal and we're targeting next liquidity zones, which is going to be either up here at 2.7. I literally marked this on the show 2 days ago and yesterday. I literally marked this level and I said we are reversing from this level. And it is happening. Now, if it is happening, why do I think we're going to have a relief? Because trading is about probabilities, okay? Right now, the probability is that we are going to see a push all the way up here, all the way up to this 2.87, 2.92-ish region. What would invalidate that? Simple. A break below the 4-hour low, okay? So until we break below a 4-hour low, which is here. Break and close. I'm always talking about break and close. Okay, on the 4-hour chart. Let me just see this if this happened. Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful. So break it can wick through. It can have a wick, but if there is no 4-hour close below the 2.62 trillion mark on the total market cap, we are going to go up. If that's the thesis, what I'm looking at is the following. A 50% retrace, which aligns perfectly to something called, again, the breaker block, perfectly. And then once you have a retrace into this region, a higher high and a continuation. This is where you want to long. Okay? So when I say this, that means between 2.72 and 2.60 trillion. Anywhere here. A lot of people just DM me when I say this and they wait for the 50% retrace and they tell me, but it didn't reverse. Well, first of all, I'm not a fucking fortune teller. Second, it has to reverse in the discount zone, which is between the 50% level and the low. Down here. This is what I'm looking at. Anywhere here, anytime here. Okay? So, short time frame, what do I expect? I expect a reversal down to the 2.72 trillion, retest rather. I would imagine that we're going to reverse somewhere between 2.72 and 2.68, but it can come all the way down to 2.62 and still be extremely bullish. Let me just start this again so you understand. So what I'm expecting is that we have a rejection here, but because we have a 4-hour close above, that marks a market structure shift, which could indicate a higher time frame reversal happening. So what I'm expecting is that we're going to have a retrace down here below the 50% on the 4-hour chart, which is 2.72 trillion, between 2.72 trillion and 2.62, which is basically the low. We need to see a higher high on the 15-minute chart. That will look something like this, okay? A higher high on the 15-minute chart. Something like this on the 15-minute. When you see that, go long. Not financial advice, but go long because it will be fucking incredible. And we're targeting 2.86 trillion. If we have a break and close below 2.62 on the 4-hour chart, short. This is my game plan at least, okay? Build up liquidity, can be taken. Ultimately, I do think we should go lower based on the macro situation. So even if we start rallying and we go all the way up to the 2.87, on the higher time frame, I do think that we are going to flush down to the 2.4 only because of macro situation. On the weekly, we are the breaker block. We came back 50. We're beautifully ready for a rally here. But because of the macro situation, I don't know when that is coming or if it is coming soon enough. But I can play with the chart and short time frame. This is going to be the play. Okay, any questions to this? Because I think there's a lot of confusion around here, which we need to clear out. What's happening? You see, the Irishman didn't even say anything. I think he's not watching it now. Now I'm offended. Now I'm like, do I use prop firms? No, most of the prop firms are. I'm not saying they are scam, but they are very, very difficult to pass because the way they are structured. You have to be scalping on the 1-minute chart to be able to properly test and sustain a prop firm account, which is not a problem. I'm just saying that that's what you should do. Up only season end of year? I think so. Selling may go away. GM, no. Are we going up in the short term? Yes. Sheldon in the ice bath. Yeah. You know, I have to tell you one thing, though. I did not think Sheldon will keep his word to the bet. That's the honest truth. I didn't think he was going to, do the ice bath and whatever. It was a bet. If you don't know, we bet with Sheldon that Bitcoin is not going to go above 100,000. I said it's not going to go above 100,000. Bitcoin was like 90-something thousand at the time. And he said yes, by the 10th of March or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. And we bet that you have to announce it on a show, you have to do an ice bath, and you have to do a 5,000 donation. Now, I got the 5,000, which I'm going to give away on the shows. So first, you want to subscribe. Second, you want to make sure to follow me on X. There is a link in the description, but I'm going to give it away on X, on the shows. So it's Sheldon gave us $5,000 to give away. So it's pretty cool. But I didn't believe that he was gonna do it, but he did it. So I respect him for actually keeping his word on the bet. So that's a shout out to him. What else do we have here? The highest of the right, Rastafari. I don't know what that is. Unwatchable. When is ran on with Alpha? Darren, thank you so much for being here. We so appreciate you, Darren. I can tell you one thing, though. If it's unwatchable, don't watch it. And definitely don't leave a comment because it just wastes your own time. You don't have time to waste. You have to get out. You have to go get it. And if you just don't want to make money with us, that's fine. That's really fine. Go somewhere else because you don't have time to watch content that is unwatchable. Genuinely mean it. Don't. So don't do it. That setup is like fart corner. We'll long the support. I don't care. Stop plus from Willis by my stop plus grind. Let's call the Irish. Let's go. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna be like, why are you not watching my show? Because he called me before the show. Why are you not watching my show? You know what? I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call the Irishman.
Hello?
I'm just telling the community that I'm offended that you're not watching the show.
Listen.
Are you watching the show?
Yes. Just telling the community that I even put in the research group that I was watching because you said message.
Okay, cool. I was like, I'm offended. But then good. So what are we doing? What do you think about this whole FOMC thing? Do you agree with my take on the fact that QT is the QT slowing down is a good sign in the long term, but it's not the best for the short term? What do you think?
I do. Yeah, no, I do agree with your take. The one thing I don't agree with is, sorry, not your take. In overall, I think people are putting too much emphasis on, quote unquote, Trump trying to crash the markets. Like it's not, he's not trying to actively crash the markets. Yeah, he wants to refinance his debt at lower interest rates, but I think it's kind of a cushioning tool for people. They're trying to make themselves feel better at prices being down by coming to this conclusion that Trump is just trying to crash markets when it's not kind of fully like that. I think it's just a general risk change for the markets. Markets just did very, very well for the last year or so, and Bitcoin has just come down 10, 12% from the highs, maybe more, 20, and so have equities. So
yeah, but don't you think that it has some? So it definitely has an impact on what Trump is doing with the tariffs, with the war situation, the global, everything that's the global political situation. But also, I think it does have a lot to do with the fact that this refinancing is happening. So he doesn't really care about the stock market. He could. If he really wanted to, he could turn this thing around, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't even want to create certainty at this stage.
Yep. But it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You talking about Trump maybe doing this, Rand talking about it, all these big publications talking about it, everyone then starts believing it, and then everyone starts selling off their assets, and then Trump gets sort of what he wants without doing what he wants. If you notice the tariff news, when he started talking about tariffs 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, they had a big effect on the market, but he put out a tariff thing about 48 hours, 72 hours ago, and it didn't really affect the market. So, it's just like that
pricing in
the bouncing ball. Think of the bouncing ball. Whenever you first bounce a ball, it bounces high, and then the second time it bounces not so high, and third, it's having that sort of effect on the market currently. But yeah, for anyone that's trading, it is seriously tough. Like, conditions are very murky. So if you're losing or feeling like you're not doing too well, believe me, everybody, every fund, every liquid fund manager, every active trader, every Binance leaderboard trader, they're all struggling. So it's not just you if you feel like it.
Yeah, it's so good, bro. I'm actually so happy you said that because, and if people who watch the show, they know that I'm always transparent, always honest. I come here and I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to do a show today, and I'm just like, the 15th time that I'm getting stopped on a scalp trade, and it's just tough out there. But I also think that, and you and me align a lot on this, that it's just sitting out, bro. Like the buying for multi-cycle now, I'm thinking, it's not the way to go. Just sit out and fucking wait. And I actually learned it from you because every morning we jump on. By the way, guys, there's a link in the description to Frontrunners. Go and check it out. Every morning we have a research call, and the Irishman here is always the one is like, I'm gonna sit out now. I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna wait, and everybody is like, no, we're gonna buy. And I actually adopted that from you, like I genuinely did, because you can't. And we talked about this. 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙 tweeted at first, right? And said like 2025 is going to be investors' hell and traders' paradise. And this is exactly sit on cash and wait for the right moment. And when the right moment is there, just deploy. And that's what you were doing as well.
Exactly. Crypto is the best market when times are good, and crypto is the worst market when times are bad. When the times are good, it's one of those, you lock yourself in a room and don't come out. When the times are bad, you focus on the things that you didn't focus on when you were locked in your room trying to make the most of the conditions. So we're just currently in that boring, murky period, but we'll get out of it. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get out of it, bro. All right, talk to you. Much love.
Talk to you. See you later, guys.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Such a cool guy, hey? Such a cool guy. I'm trying to persuade him to actually have like a show as well. Like we should give it up for this man. He's such a legend for jumping on as well. So this was the Irishman. Go and follow him, and also make sure to go and join front runners. Like really, he's the boss. He's the ultimate boss. Why is something froze here? My stuff is not working here. Oh, it does. Okay, cool. So you go down here and there is a front runner's link in the description. He's the boss man. He's going to be there soon enough. Hold on a second. Will send. And there is a front. I don't see it. It's there! Okay, so join frontrunners. I genuinely think that one of the biggest benefits of frontrunners, other than the fact that they have a bunch of, breaking news, and Joe is literally, like, the Irishman is literally the first one to post something in there. It's incredible. It is incredible. But this newsroom has a meeting with like 60 researchers every morning. It's absolutely incredible. So you can go, I wanted to see where NVIDIA is. And then I know I'm jumping all across the board, so we're gonna get back. But I wanted to see where NVIDIA is. This is so fucking cool that you can do this on stocks now. Not NVIDIA, but Tesla. I wanted to see Tesla. Where's Tesla? If you don't know what this is, you guys are missing out. This is banter bubbles, but now we have stocks function in there. It's down 3. Yeah, on today, and the weekly is down 6%. On the day, down 1%. 35% in a month. Still up 35 in a year. I mean, of course, Trump helped with that, but I think Tesla's going to bounce nasty. Okay, so round up, big ass shout out to the Irishman. Second, go and join front runners. So is Ren? Oh, this is the FL for sure. Ren is cool. Ren is cool. Bit old school. It's good. I'm lucky he's not watching the show though. Should we call Ren as well? Let's call Ren as well. This is the call. I don't know. Maybe he's in a meeting. He's not gonna pick up the phone. Watch.
Fefe, what can I do for you?
I'm on the show, and we're guessing if you're watching my show now.
No, I'm not watching your show. I'm sitting with Kaylin and I'm prepping for my show. So.
Okay. Any alpha?
Why?
They said that they don't need your alpha because they have my alpha. They might have said it the other way around, but it doesn't matter now. What's the alpha, sir? What are you going to talk about on your show? What should we buy?
What should we buy? If you're buying now, I think you're buying too early. That's what I'm going to be talking about.
Exactly. Cool.
Yeah,
we're aligned.
You're buying too early. You got to wait. Trump's got a job to do. Let him do his job, bro.
Bro, this is literally what I was talking about this show.
Sit on your hands. I've trained you well, bro.
Done, sir. Talk to you.
All right, Fefe.
Yeah?
Fefe. Well, if you save your name on your phone as Fefe, and when you phone people, because Siri doesn't know it's Fefe, so she calls you Fefe.
We're gonna talk to Tim. We're gonna talk to Tim Cook and tell him like what's happening. Not the temple one, but the other one. All right, bro. Talk to you. Ciao. Yeah, okay. This is a calling show. Who else should we call? Should we call Kyle as well? Let's see if Kyle picks up. And then my wife will kill me. Should we call Kyle? Let's go. Let's see if Kyle picks it up. Voice call. I bet you Kyle is not going to pick it up. I bet. Kyle is not going to pick it up. Kyle dupes. What is happening here? Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's go back here and see what's happening. So I told you about the market. I do think that is going to happen. You can already actually long here if you want. I'm gonna wait because I just don't want to get flushed and rinsed. I do think that this thing is going to come a little bit lower, maybe on Trump news, whatever that is. But this might actually happen next week, so we can go a little bit higher here, whatever, and then just reject. If we reach this liquidity zone up here at 2.87, just watch out because after that, I'm not that confident longing this. I'll probably wait for an hourly higher high. But if we see a 15-minute market structure shift here, even here. If you see a 15-minute, you can actually get in there if you want. It's much riskier because it didn't come back to the ultimate 50 on the 4-hour. But if you see a higher high here, you can technically just look at a long here. Okay, let's go through some random news because as always, if you watch the show, you know that there is some random news happening here. Call Miles. Someone is saying call Miles. Should we call? I give zero chance that Miles is gonna pick this up. Let's test. Let's see. And I have to stop this. Let's call Miles. In 2 seconds, he hanged up on me. In 2 seconds, he just pushed. I was gonna say, yo, bro, I was on the show, and I don't know what happened. I just wanted to call you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, this has to end. I should start a show which is like a prank show. I know people hating me now for doing this. If anybody's tuning in, I swear this is not how the shows usually go. Okay, I swear that it's like normal kind of. Okay, so anyway, let's go. Random news. Every Magnificent 7 stock is now in red year to date. That's actually quite crazy to think. The stock market is bouncing, but the Magnificent 7 is all red year to date. As you see, BlackRock says Bitcoin is an emerging global monetary alternative. Now, very important, BlackRock is still pushing this narrative, but I do think, for one, they are not lying on the long run. They are lying a little bit on the short term, but they are not lying on the long run. I'm very happy to see that they are talking. Guys, this is serious talk. Serious talk. Bitcoin is an emerging global monetary alternative. That's crazy for the fact that they said that, it's red poison. Going over to this is quite a big development in a couple of years. Pakistan! To legalize cryptocurrency, it's just a good thing to see that more and more countries are adopting and legalizing cryptocurrencies, opening up. Shout out to Ben from Bybit. I told you yesterday, I'm actually surprised. Great liquidity on Bybit if you trade larger sums. So it's pretty cool to see how they stood up and they improved. I'm impressed and I'm happy about it. Ben gave us an update on the hack. If you live under a rock, $1.5 billion worth of ETH has been stolen from Bybit's cold wallet through an exploit through Safe. Their multi-sig solution. It's not theirs, but a multi-sig solution. And he says that there's 88.87% remains traceable, which is quite cool. About 89% is still traceable. 8% have gone dark. Even if you consider the fact that it's like $130 million going dark, that's kind of like lunch money there. 3.5% has been frozen already. Now, what is quite cool is that they have this thing that you can go on, Lazarus Bounty, and they are tracking these funds. So if you're like a geek and whatever, you can go on here and you can see what it is, and if you can connect dots, and you can. I met a guy in Portugal, and they were like, they were doing these on-chain stuff. So if you're good at on-chain stuff, this is the time for you to step up. Anyway, this is not a sponsor plug or anything, but I think it's pretty cool. If I was a little bit smarter on-chain stuff, I would actually spend time on it. But you can submit a lead, and if they freeze the funds and they get it back, you get a percentage of it, which is quite cool. Tesla, I have to talk about this, bro. And this is like a random show. Anybody who is watching this, again, this is not how usually the shows go, but it is what it is. So, Tim Walz. Oh, I have to mention this.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla.
Okay, so I tweeted this yesterday. The reason why I'm talking about it, because I tweeted this yesterday, and I said I drive a Tesla and not planning on having anything else as my daily drive. This car is a technological marvel. Also, Elon Musk is cool AF. If you hate Tesla, you're brainless or brainwashed or both. And I got so much backlash on this. Well, let me tell you something. If you don't drive a Tesla because it doesn't suit you, because you don't like the car, I don't know how can you not like the car, to be very honest with you, but maybe you don't. That's fine. You don't have to spit on it. You don't have to, rub your ass and just wipe it on the windshield, and you don't have to do all that stuff. Key the car, just don't like it. Don't buy the Tesla, it's fine. The Tesla employs 70,000 people in the US, about 130,000 people worldwide, hating on it and damaging Teslas. If you would come to my Tesla, I would shoot you in the face. Honestly, if you would key my Tesla because you disagree with with whatever Elon Musk is doing, I would shoot you in the face. That's what I would do. So I'm just saying, hating on a car that is a technological marvel, or hating on a company that employs 130,000 people across the world, because you don't agree with something the founder of that company is doing, good. Then just go and, I don't know, knock yourself out. But I just think it's horrible. I think it's just horrible. And I will I don't even understand how you cannot. And there was a guy here, and I commented here to someone, so saying, I don't know who commented like with the when he said my heart goes out to you and with all that thing. Did you know that Porsche, BMW, Mercedes-Benz all supported the Nazis in World War II? Yeah. Are you hating on those cars? No. You know what's happening here? Cuz's computer here, and Cuz's computer is calling. What's happening here? Wild thing. So anyway, don't do that. Don't hate on stuff that is not. Tesla, Tampan team said that 225 and is dropping. Tesla is up 345. What was it today? Let's see what Tesla is at. Tesla is up at, what is this now? 232. Okay, 232. But it was all the way up here at 239. Anyway, I do think Tesla is going to be a good buy. A good buy or a good buy. Guys, I think this is the show. I wanted to tell you one more thing. I record school, talk about it more and more and more. If you don't have a VPN, you have to have a VPN. No questions. It's not a question of if, it's a question of now. It's a question of when, and the when is today. If you don't want to use NordVPN because you think, Fefe is shilling me shit, fine. Don't use NordVPN. Please get yourself a VPN. Okay, I got so many people saying they got trackback, they got they can't visit websites from different regions, they can't access their exchange, or they're just simply being, clicking on links and whatever. So the reason why I personally use NordVPN, other than the fact that you have double VPN and all that extra security in it, is because they do have a threat protection for like, I don't even know, I think it's like $5 a month or something like that all in all. You get a great deal if you use our link in the description. Anyway, please get yourself a VPN. It's not you have to have a VPN. And that said, Dupe, speak up. Dupe, I'm actually keen to see what Miles is going to reply to me for my crying message. I think he's just going to ghost me. Celebrating an American company going down. Yeah, the people burned Teslas in Las Vegas. They will go to jail. I hope so. I don't understand this Tesla hater. Yes, well said. Thank you. Thank you. NordVPN is the best. I agree. Thank you. Which all trades should we take? So yeah, so good question. I do think it depends on what you want along. Like I gave you the blueprint. Once you have the once this plays out in total market cap, which is going to play out, I'm looking at Hype for their metrics. It's actually looking quite insanely good, and you have a beautiful return on this. My entry on Hype, what I'm waiting for is going to be down here at like 14, but I need to see the total market cap play ball. So, but 14 is going to be one of the levels on Hype that I'm looking at. What else do we have here? Let's look at Sol. Why is it shit like this? Here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this strong that I had here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I drafted this and I said this and it's happening. Beautiful. Let me just delete this here. Beautiful. Higher high, 50 retrace up. I would look at Solana down 128 again. You need the 15-minute market structure shift. You need a higher high on a 15-minute. But ultimately, that is the level that I'm looking at. ETH, I'm not interested in ETH. BNB, beautiful. I was expecting BNB to, it still didn't retrace. So a BNB retrace here is going to be good. I mean, I don't know if it will come back to 575, but down here, this is a good buy with a stop loss down here at 592. Bit riskier, but possibly can happen. This is building up. I'm not interested in Doge either. Sui, not interested. AVAX, I mean, if AVAX would look at this trendline liquidity, if AVAX would be able to come down here, that would be good. Down here at 17, if we see a 15-minute higher high, go at it. Not interested. TRX, very good. Tron, very cool. Waiting for 22.6. If that happens, market structure shift, just get in. XRP, shit, I'm not interested. Cardano, shit, I'm not interested. Stellar, looks okay. Need a 50 down here, like 25-ish. Hype, we talked about Render. Render at TP'd, by the way, if anybody is interested in Render TP'd here that I gave you on the show the other day. OP, building up liquidity, not interested. Stacks, not interested. TIA looks very cool. This actually does look very good. Yeah, once you see a higher high, go in. Once you see a higher high, go in. On the 15-minute, could be pretty decent. Yeah, it's up high, up here at 3.35. If you do see that, you can enter 50% there and 50% on the bottom. All right, guys, I gotta go because I have to travel. Holy shoot! All right, Cool. What we scalping today? Yes, I gave you all this, but most important, just watch for the total market cap. Once the total market cap hit the levels that I'm talking about, have a higher high, you can long anything that has mindshare. You can long Solana, you can long some AI tokens because AI still has mindshare. Scalp. Okay, guys, truly appreciate every single one of you. You can click on these 2 videos if you're rewatching. Click here to subscribe. Make sure to follow me on X. There's a link in the description to my Twitter or X account. Check out all the other links as well, and come back for the next one. Tomorrow is going to be a pre-record because I'm traveling, but it's going to be awesome. Guys, much love. I truly appreciate you, and I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.